What is going on, you dead set legends? And welcome to the Ready Bang, the number one arm wrestling podcast in the world. I'm your host, the Aussie Arm Wrestler, and as always, I'm your 2019 Melbourne Cup left arm 80 to 95 kilo third place amateur. A trophy that my guest has not won. I mean, this man genuinely needs no introduction. We're not going to call him the GOAT, because he doesn't like it. So we're just going to call him the greatest of all time. And, of course, he just did a badass move and signed his contract live on his own channel for the big match against Denis Oplenkov. John Brzenk, welcome back to the show, my man.
Fancy intro you got there, Jake.
I've got to liven it up. I'm not as good as arm wrestler as yourself, so I can't just rely on my 40 years of experience of pinning everyone, so I got to jazz it up a bit.
So this isn't YouTube, obviously. It's not Zoom. So what are we viewing right now? What are we doing? What kind of podcast is this? Is this
so we're live on my YouTube channel.
Oh, it's YouTube. Oh, okay, great.
Yep. So and I'm using a program called StreamYard.
Oh, okay.
So like we can do little things like thank all my YouTube and Patreon bangers. For as little as 50 cents a week, John, you can help out the Aussie Arm Wrestler. You get a little bit of the behind-the-scenes action and all of that. And every single dollar that is raised goes back into the channel. Got some big things coming up. And, of course, none bigger than the greatest arm wrestler of all time. And everyone's been joining on, really supporting the show. And if we can we please give John a ready bang in the chat like Muscle Bike? No, where was it? Sarah Latona, after a big win, says, hey, Jake and John, how are you going? Robert Gould is up and about. He says, what's up, fellas? Ready? Bang, bang. Robert Gould is my gold member for Patreon. He's a really good dude. Really good dude. The real deal's in the chat, John. He says, ready, bang, bang. People are very excited. Muscle Bikes like, hail the GOAT. Ding and Tara just says, it's on. It's on. Everyone is very, very excited. King Hoddle says, evening. It's always great to see the GOAT. I will try my best, John, to leave as many GOAT comments out.
Right. I don't see the chat, so I guess you're in full control of that aspect. So
okay. I wonder if there's something you can click to.
All the reading is up to you now, right? All the pressure's on you to read.
That, mate, that is fine. That's not a problem at all. I mean, Sarah Latona's just become a new member. Thank you very much. Solanche says Marcus Thompson. We'll get it onto Marcus Thompson a little bit later, John. But hey, as everyone's just saying, ready bang, and everyone's just been like super nice. I usually say hi to everyone, but your time is limited, which we're very, very appreciative of. Mate, how are you? Like
I'm doing
515 super matches this year.
Still somewhat intact. Everything is still working as good, if not better, than it was a year ago. So I'm getting a little more aches and pains in my shoulder. It's been, as I've gotten stronger, I aggravate it more. Little tweaks and things, little stingers here and there, but manageable.
Did you think, especially during your time off and during all the lockdowns and anything, did you think that like in 2022, at 57, 58 years old, you'd be back traveling the world, having 7-8 super matches in a year?
Not at this capacity. I mean, when I told Igor back before COVID hit, probably 3 years ago or so, that I would participate in the top 8 with the 95 kilo class, I thought, that'd be a one and done. His offer was pretty interesting, and I thought it'd be nice to just kind of hang out with the guys. I really didn't expect, and I told him, I says, I'm probably going to be out in the losers bracket after the first round. I doubt very much if I can get through even the B level guys, let alone the top ranked guys. So I was pretty much thinking about making a comeback, but just being like a one and done, not continuing to try to get better and actually be, competitive at the super high level again. But yeah, it's crazy how quickly one thing leads to another, and one match goes to another match, and pretty soon I'm in the mix and I'm doing bigger and better stuff. And a year goes by, or a year and a half, and shit, I've got a dozen super matches in the book. So yeah, it's been a lot more activity than I originally wanted to do. So,
well, was there one particular match during this whole comeback tour? I mean, I don't think we can call it a comeback tour anymore because you've been one of the most active arm wrestlers on the planet. But was there one match? Was it Chance? Was it Dimitri? Was it Paul? Where you just went, right, I'm on here. I can still hang and bang and take all these kids' names.
Yeah, Chance was kind of an unknown. Paul unknown, Dimitri unknown. I mean, most of those guys I really didn't know. I knew they were high level in the United States. Yeah, no, I never actually thought I was back. I was just kind of squeaking by, thinking, okay, survive that. Just keep training, and hopefully things will get better. And yeah, no, I mean, but then once I started beating or being at least competitive against younger Bayevs and the Petrinkos and the Zolovs, and then I started thinking, oh shit, I'm high level competitive back to taking on anybody at my weight. So.
Oh, not only your weight, but just absolute giants, which we'll get into a bit later. We've just got a super chat from Stephen O'Keefe saying, Steve-O says, curious to hear if John feels any impact from stem cells yet. Also, what was he told about what he would expect over up to the next 6 months time frame?
They didn't have any expectations. I mean, I think everybody's different. I mean, age, I think probably the type of injury. My injury is probably a arthritic old age, possibly a tear that has been, I've been dealing with for over 10 years. So it's not the typical, muscle tear or tendon tear that they're trying to, repair weeks or months after the injury occurs. So, but I'm still super hopeful. They are excited, and, their excitement, transfers over to me. It's like, okay, we'll see. I mean, I'm hopeful. To answer your question though, no, not really. Nothing as far as the shoulder goes. I do feel like a little different. Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I definitely feel like I'm a little warmer. I have a little bit more energy. I feel like, it could be mental, could be the placebo, but yeah, no, the shoulder is going to take time. And, so yeah, nothing right away. Nothing yet.
Nothing. Yeah, I'll tell you what, a healthy John, a fired up, more energetic John is just only danger for everyone else on the planet.
Yeah, it's funny. It's actually, well, maybe because I've been purposely hitting it with the lacrosse ball a lot more and massaging it and really grinding into it to try to get it to work, and actually putting a lot more effort again and just trying to get the blood flow because of the stem cells. I'm just wishful that it's actually feeling more irritated than it normally has, because I'm trying to actually stimulate it to give it a chance to possibly, heal. So anyway.
Mate. And then only that, you kind of do things on your own time, and you did an ultra badass move yesterday. For those that missed the Monday Night Live yesterday on John's channel.
On Tuesday.
on a Tuesday. Oh, don't worry. Uncle John and I, we run a show called Maximum Bang Monday, and the head messing about it does for me, because it's Tuesday lunchtime when I do the show. It's Monday night for everyone else.
All right.
But I'm like, hey, happy Monday, everyone. And then I finish and it's like, no, it's Tuesday. But you signed your King of the Table 6 contract.
Right. They finally got the Saplinkoff camp to agree, and everything's a go. And he's been given the green light for training and health and everything else. So, yeah, received it in my mailbox yesterday morning and printed it up. And yeah, I let him know months ago that I would be willing to do it. So it wasn't like any hard decision for me.
Well, did you, and we're going to get to a couple of the details of the match in a moment, but did you just think just a casual thing, like on your Monday Night Live, like you said months ago, it was one of your first Monday Night Lives, and you were just talking when you first started YouTube and you're just like, yeah, Dennis was great. He was such a great opponent. Yeah, I'd love to pull him again and things like that. And, you know, less than 12 months later, you're going to be the main event at King of the Table in Dubai.
Well, I don't know. And nobody at that time really knew if Dennis would actually ever come back, right? I mean, so his health was still kind of an unknown. So it's really great that he's well enough to do this. So and to me, he looks, he's obviously not as massive as I've seen him in the past. And when I arm wrestled him in Las Vegas, he was just massive. But but he looks healthy. I mean, he moves well. His hand and wrist, his tendons are solid. I've seen him pull some really good arm wrestlers and really effortlessly is smiling and hanging on to this. So I think he's ready for this.
Yeah, and my mind gets blown because I was very fortunate enough at the last King of the Table to spend some time with Dennis, and he looks massive. So, and you caught up with him at East versus West, and you're like, oh, he's not as big as when I used to pull it. I was like, how much bigger? Because I only see on the YouTube, you were going.
He's still got the big joints, the big hand, wrist, tendons, but his muscles are just not as impressive. He's just not completely formed up like he's doing a powerlifting contest. So, which in my mind, I think actually in some respects it makes you a better arm wrestler. It definitely gives you a little bit better endurance, and if you're just relying on those tendons instead of those big muscles, you don't seem to get fatigued nearly as quick. So, might be a benefit for him.
And it makes me pretty happy that you said that he looks healthy. Obviously, over the years, but going head to head with him so much, you've seen peak Dennis. You've seen not so peak Dennis when it all went pear shaped. So it's pretty cool. Someone that's relatively as close as Dennis says that he's looking healthy.
Right. So it's a curious match. I think we're both. Maybe underestimating each other a little bit, possibly, and maybe we shouldn't. But yeah, it's a little bit of a crazy unknown. Both sides.
What do you think, John? Just a nice, easy 6-0?
No, there's no way that he's developed into quite the defensive arm wrestler. It's going to be. I'm hoping it's going to be competitive enough where, when he hits hard, if I can absorb his hit and maintain some kind of back pressure. I always felt good against Dennis, even when he beat me that final match. He kind of hit, and my shoulder my brain said, "No, just let that go." So I didn't really. It could have been touch and go, even if I could have just weathered that hit. So. But yeah, no, I mean, Dennis intimidates a lot of people with his hand size and that, and he's not a big person as far as arm length, so he's not towering. He's not really trying to top roll. He's a control guy. So everything kind of fits for me to really put my full force into him. So I'm kind of excited just because of that fact that I know that he's not gonna flash pin me or put me out of put me in some weird position. So
I love it. Every time I look, when I spend time with Dennis, I'll get these super chats in a moment, guys. When I spend time with Dennis, I was like, oh my God, like his hand is covers my whole face, and he's just so strong and so big. And I'm like, oh, he'll crush anyone. And we're talking, he's like, yeah, we're looking to pull John. I'm like, oh, he's crushing anyone. But then I have to look on the other side of the table, and I was like, he's pulling John. Like, it's John. You can't. It's very hard. It's very hard to go against John.
Yeah, I'm hoping to put up a fight, so we'll see how it goes. But I don't think I'm completely outmatched. And like I said, I mean, other than watching him pull some of the other guys that we kind of have a little bit of background to gauge. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting.
Well, what were your thoughts on when you saw the footage of the Alex Kadecha after pull?
Well, he had an offensive position. Alex didn't look like he was very in shape and very aggressive. So I didn't really put a lot into that. I mean, I mean, Alex got beat by Corey West once Corey got a hold of him and hooked him. So, I mean, yeah, yes and no. I mean, it was impressive that he was able to contain that, but, Alex wasn't straight up firing and getting out on Dennis's hand with his effective top roll. So, yeah, that was my thoughts. And it's like, okay, it looks good that he's able to pull Alex down like that, but I think I could too if I got that position.
Oh, there you go, everyone in the chat and that's watching. If John says don't take practice pulls too seriously, I think the rest of us should follow suit. All right, let's get to a couple of comments and we'll just keep on rolling. Guys, while I'm reading the comments, give me your predictions. It's a 6-round super match. We're going to go through a couple of the details. It's a 6-round super match. Who wins? And give me a score because, John, we've got a poll going at the moment, 131 votes and 60% say that you're going to get the chocolates in this one.
Oh, wow.
So let's see the score
I
come rolling in.
saw Ingen's poll earlier on, I think must have been his side. I was like a 70-30 dog or 80-20 dog. I was like, damn, no confidence.
That's right. Just do a couple of cheeky bets on yourself on arm bet. And there you go. You can take Mrs. Brzenk out on holiday.
Confident in myself, but yeah.
Well,
I see this question. Does John agree with Devin that Dennis may be number 2? Yes. The key word is maybe. We don't know. I mean, I highly doubt that he's number 2. If he was number 2, he'd be going against, challenging Hermes or Vitali or, some of the top heavyweight dogs. So, yeah. Dennis can be Dennis, I think, has the potential to be number 2 again, but I think it's still maybe 6 months down the road.
There you go. Yeah, it's and I'm glad it is you. I mean, the battles over the years, like if his comeback match was against and no disrespect to Alex Cadecha or even Hermes, like those matches would be huge. But I'm an 80s guy, John, so nostalgia gets me right in the feel. So when his first match and the rumors were coming around against you, I was like, that's exactly what that's the only opponent it's going to be.
Yeah, no, and it's smart for him too. He doesn't want to completely jump into the deep end, right? He wants to kind of test the waters a little bit. So,
well, I have heaps of people like, oh, he shouldn't be pulling John. He should be pulling Levan, and it's just like, mate, I'm all for jumping in the deep end and aiming for the top, but a 4-year break and then beat an 180 kilo bloke that's never lost. Yeah. Baby steps. White Wolf is in the chat. Says, John, do you have bone spurs on your shoulder? I have them, both mine, years of abusing them, been contemplating the scalpel or stem cells if they work.
I don't know if I have bone spurs. The last few times I've fought with doctors to have my shoulder looked at it, they did an x-ray and they wouldn't authorize an MRI just because of the image from the x-rays. They just said, you just got 80-year-old shoulders and, it's just arthritis. Believe me, I've seen, you don't have anything ripped. But what concerns me or what my argument would be is why when I push with a lacrosse ball on the wall in that area, is it excruciating, painful, and the tendons or nerves or something are actually popping like nothing's aligned in there. So I don't know. I don't agree that it could all be just arthritis because it's not what I really feel in the joint. It's actually tendons, not connections not being properly aligned. And people will say, oh, well, you need to just get this or you need to get that and straighten it out. Believe me, I have done it all. I'm refusing to do it again now because of the stem cells. So, yeah. So it feels like something, unless arthritis can cause the outer tendons and ligaments and that to be inflamed, where they're so inflamed that they're going to pop and jump and not be aligned correctly. And sometimes it gets bad enough where if I actually put pressure on it, my arm will be paralyzed, where like I can't even putting just a little pressure in that area, like it won't move.
That's the good pain.
I don't know if there's nerves involved with that or what's going on, but it's been frustrating for me because obviously I went to a bunch of doctors and, I finally ended up getting the surgery. And then the other doctors, that surgery, you should have never got it done. It didn't work. But then I go to other doctors and they just kind of write me off like, quit bugging us. You don't have any problems. It's just arthritis.
Anyway, that's
I give up.
What would be more frustrating? Is it all of that the doctor's been saying, or random people on the internet telling you what to do when it comes to injuries and like with you lost to Ongabayev and you'll be like on a Monday Night Live and everyone's like, oh, John, you should have top rolled or you should have used more back pressure. And I sit there and just enjoy reading the comments. And
I guess, I reflect and think the same things that they probably think, and maybe some of them would have worked for sure. I mean, you got to try to analyze what went on and how you would possibly do things differently. I mean, sure, it's great advice, but yeah, no, I've thought of all that stuff, too, right? It's nothing new. It's like, okay, let me write that down.
The first time I really came across that, Michael Todd lost to Gennady at East versus West, and Michael Todd did a real raw live, like straight after the match or after the event. And I was just watching everyone tell Michael how he should have arm wrestled. Like, dude's like 10, 15 time world champion. Like, you don't think straight away someone at your guys' level knows that, that's where it went wrong.
And what works for that particular guy giving the advice or the guy down the street or, 100 other guys may not possibly work for Michael. Surely Michael knows what Michael is capable of, Yeah.
It's brilliant. But that's what, like, sometimes you can get frustrated, but that's what I also love about the internet, Hey, John, you should have done this, mate. That was silly what you did against Ongabayev. Right. It's like, are you kidding?
Right. I'm arm wrestling too much. I should rest more. Okay. I rest plenty, guys.
Yeah. And when someone knocks on your door and says, hey, John, we've got $5,000, we've got $10,000, and we can fly you and your wife around to another beautiful city. Yeah. You're just going to rest, aren't you, mate? Get out.
If it was so important that I had to win, then I might consider and think, okay, well, I should train. I should do this. I should taper. 6 months, but it's still more of a weekend warrior hobby thing than something like that. I mean, if it changes where it's $1 million purse to win some event out in the future, then all right. Yeah. Now we got tunnel focus on achieving that.
I wish I had $1 million because I would love to get the 16 best in the world and have a super match tournament all year. You know what I mean? Like round one is in January, and it's
okay.
A bit like that. Muscle Bike says, John, thank you very much for your super chat. He says, John, if we doubt you, does it motivate you more?
No. I try to convince myself that it, sometimes I'll think that, should I take the match? Because I'm worried that I'm not going to be 100%. But then I tell myself, I've lost before. It's okay to lose. It's, just prepare as best you can with the situation, the cards you're dealt, and move forward. But yeah, when people say I have no chance, it almost makes me laugh. I smile. I just say, oh, okay. We'll see. No chance.
Yeah, you must be new to the sport if you think John has no chance. Victor's pretty happy. He says, hey, John, I just want to say I'm very excited. You finally got the stem cells. Keep doing what you're doing. You're my hero. And a huge
thank you.
That's from
stem cells and of course exosomes, right? I don't know. A lot of people don't know. I had no idea what exosomes were, but after spending a day or two with Devin, especially at dinner, he informed me all about exosomes. Yeah. But so it seems to me that's kind of the latest, greatest, even more so than stem cells. So.
It's all happening. And he thinks you're going to win 4-3. King Hoddle thinks you're going to win 4-2. Got some awesome people in the chat. Angelo's said, I love John and 100% rooting for you. He's very up and about. Got all my usual suspects in the chat. Sarah Latona's very happy. We're happy. We got your Fox 8 Balls, your Sasquatches, your Marcus Thompsons. I got a really strong following in the chat, and they all love you.
What's the time difference now? What time is it in Australia?
10:30 a.m.
Okay.
Perfect time. When you were just like, yeah, finish work at 3. I thought I'll let you get home. And I'm like, beautiful, perfect time.
Okay.
I absolutely love it. White Wolf with a quick question, and then we need it, guys. We need to talk about some bits and pieces about the Dennis match, and got a million matches, but I am appreciative. John, that sounds like both of my shoulders. Spurs should only be on cowboy boots.
How do the spurs occur? Because it's unlike the elbow where we're constantly, chipping and banging and, from hard tables and doing crazy things. I mean, the shoulder shouldn't be having any spurs unless just the movement itself is chipping away at where the cartilage has gone away, where it's chipping away at the bone, I guess. I don't know.
But bone spurs are one of those one of those ridiculous things. They're very hard to figure out, especially coming in from arm wrestling. It's very weird. We've got Jay in the chat. Says, hey John, in your lifetime experience, is it the heavy drinkers or the non-drinkers like Devon who are the craziest arm wrestlers?
Yeah, craziest. Define craziest. The most dedicated, the most focused, unrelenting obsession. It's the non-drinkers, right? The drinkers don't care. They're just there for the party. I like arm wrestling because of the after party, right? So I think Devin lives on the edge a little bit more than the people that are, drinking and having fun.
That is fair enough. Thank you very much, Jay. Muscle Bike just saying, too down to earth to care. Real confidence. He's just saying some good stuff. This is a man you need to start speaking to. It is Marcus Thompson with a giant super chat, 200 euros. Thank you very much, Marcus Thompson. Says, Jake, I owed you. You don't owe me anything, Marcus. You are amazing. What a match. John versus Dennis. Might have to go to Dubai for that one. Absolutely, Marcus. Check out Sunday Super Coach session on Arm Gods with Paul Maiden and guests like Rustam Babayev, Tom Holland. Hashtag Arm Gods. We brought more men. Oh. John, get amongst Arm Gods. Devon's going to be there in January. I'm going to be there. Cobra Rhodes, Uncle John.
Okay, January what? Am I supposed to make the trip to East versus West from Arm Gods? What?
Well, I think we can work it out because it's the week before. So you can fly to Ireland, have some nice time checking out that area, and then just slowly make your way to Turkey the next weekend.
And try not to arm wrestle anybody.
Maybe just have some left arm battles. And
right. Yeah, my arm will be
like that. But it's amazing what Arm Gods are doing. They've got like memberships on their website. I'm very honored to be a part of it.
I would love to go to Ireland. It's definitely on my bucket list to go see. I mean, for sure. As far as Dubai, come out to Dubai. I mean, Dennis and I are just one of the the big matches, right? It's going to be Hermes against
Levant.
Big guy. People are writing Hermes off, but what Hermes did to Dave Chafee in that high posting top roll, it's going to negate that big hand from Levant. He's got legitimate chances. Mark my words.
Oh wow! That's everyone will have a bit of a laugh at that in the chat. When people say that in the chat, mark my words, I refuse to reply to them. And now you just said it to me.
It'll be in the record books.
There you go. So 6 round super match. So you think Hermes is, quite capable of
that's
the first to pin him?
That style that he has definitely works great for guys that are trying to cup and try to control. And it's very difficult for even top level guys that have a great cup to deal with someone that's a high finger top roller like Hermes is doing. So don't be surprised if Hermes can maybe get that hand stretched out a little bit. And if he gets a little perch on that, he's proven he's got plenty of arm strength. I mean, to be able to pull Dave Chafee to the side like that.
That was impressive, especially from a defensive position.
I mean, I like Levon. Levon's a great guy. I mean, I hate to, be, but he's such a favorite that I always like to kind of root for the underdog, I guess. So.
Oh, absolutely. It's the Australian way. We're big on that. That's why when the Devon and Levon match was happening, I was just like, Devon, this is why Devon's going to win. Devon, I knew Levon. Everyone knew Levon was going to win, but I was like, nah, Devon, he's going to do that. I absolutely love the underdog story. And I've just started a poll now with your information, Levon or Hermes. I've just started a poll in the chat. So we'll see if you can influence people. Usually it's about 100% Levon. So we'll see if we...
if I'm betting my house or betting my own money, I'm going with Levon also. But I'm just saying that Hermes, in my mind, has a legitimate chance. I mean, there's a lot of guys that I would for sure bet my life that could not beat Levon. I would not bet my life that Hermes could not beat Levon. That would be dangerous.
It would, yeah. Betting against Levon is very hard to do. It's like betting against you. Whenever one of your matches are announced, it's like, nah, John, lock it in. John, lock it in. I mean, you had 7 or 8 matches this year.
I'm making people sweat. People betting on me in the last year and a half, they've had to sweat through every one of them.
We'll get to some of those sweating moments. Zurab and Corey West come to mind. That is for sure. Hand stuff with a super chat says Marcus does 200. Here's another 2. Thank you very much, hand stuff. Every single dollar helps because I'm not sure if you're aware, John. In February, we spoke last December on the show. I mean, we texted and whatever throughout the year. But in February, I have given everything up to do this full time.
Okay. What was your profession before that? Commentating.
So I used to manage a sports and aquatic center.
Oh, okay.
Things like I did 11 years in the disability field before that. Then managed the sports and aquatic center for like 6 years for an AFL football club here, like our main sport national league here.
Okay.
And then just decided I wanted to be a postman. Okay. So my wife didn't care. I said, I'm going to quit this job. I'm going to be a postie, and loved it. But then with my wife being pregnant, she wanted me home. And at the time, I was making about $40 a week for YouTube. And she was like, just quit. Make it work. You'll make it work.
Right.
And I got, from my kitchen bench to king of the table. So I was very happy, very, very happy. And then when the greatest arm wrestler of all time knows you on the first name basis, not going to lie, that's pretty slick, my man. It's pretty slick.
You're on the ground floor. So
absolutely. Everyone's everyone is up and about. Does Dennis have a weight limit for king of the table?
No. Heavier the better.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. I don't want him to be, feeble and weak and small. I want him to be big, strong.
Yeah, fair enough. That'll be good. So, do you prefer the best of 5 at East versus West, or do you like the 6 rounders or do you have the John way?
I prefer the East versus West format, where after you get your butt whipped 3 times, you're done. I'm hoping that King of the Table is keen to that, and they'll make me go up again 4th, 5th match, or make Dennis go up if the things are reversed. But Yeah, no, nothing worse than getting an ass whooping 1, 2, 3, okay, 4. I mean, you have no chance to win the super match, and you're still asking me to go up there for the fourth match. Please let me just,
just kicking you while you're down. Yeah, I get it, and it gives me so much more respect for the people that don't. I'm injured and don't go through them all, because I saw firsthand at King of the Table with Lachlan Adair. He pulled a Rackley. Well, speaking about your match with a Rackley, and a Rackley stonewalled him and whooped. And I remember round 3, Lachlan walked over to me and he just goes, "I've given him everything. I've got nothing." And he went back to the table, got his ass handed to him, went back to the table again and got his ass handed to him. And I was very proud as an Australian to see Lachlan, like you say, like, you keep going back after you get whooped. It sucks.
Right. I just find that it's kind of degrading, I guess, to me, to let the guy just accept it, and 3 is good enough. I mean, you've proved your point. You don't need to, nobody needs to see the guy, get humiliated. I can't speak.
Humiliated.
Yes, that's what I was trying to go for. Over and over again. I mean, after it's done, after the three rounds. So
yeah, it just reminds me of the Simpsons. It's like, stop, he's already dead. And it's but some people love it, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. White Wolf says, John, if you get the chance, check out the new Arm God site. The lads are doing a fantastic job there, and it's just getting started. Yeah, it is brilliant. Yeah, armgods.com. It's they want to be a big promotion like everything else. So
out of Ireland, you're saying?
Yeah. So their first big events in Ireland. You can buy merch and memberships. Paul Maiden's one of the part of it.
Okay.
It's an absolute ripper. They've
great.
got their own social media format if you become a member and things like that. They're not paying me to promote them. I'm just very honored to be a part of it. So if you can, go check it out.
Will do.
There you go, guys. So Arackley, hey, was that? So I'm very interested on why you took the Arackley match, especially with the Dennis match lingering. I know it wasn't official, but it was lingering.
Right.
And it happened, like, wasn't officially signed until yesterday.
Right.
So what was the thought process?
Yeah, well, truth is, I mean, I didn't want to pull anybody until I pulled Dennis. I told Ingen that I didn't want to go to the January event. Pretty much set in my mind that I was going to just focus and train for what I hope was going to be a end of February match with Dennis. So that was my mindset, and I was sticking to it. And about a week or so ago, Ingen started texting me saying that Kurgali was backing out of the match with Arackley, and And I'm like, okay, well, and the conversation went on like, well, who would you still want to pull Angarbayev in the future? And I'm like, no, if he's not going to defend his title, if he's pulling out of the match with Arackley, I mean, Arackley is the next guy that I want to arm wrestle. Oh, then right away, well, you ready to arm wrestle him in January? I'm like, no, I really don't want to arm. I was thinking, March, April, in the future. And really the only reason is, because I thought Angarbayev was done. But the conversation went on and, texting back and forth. And I finally just said, I don't know if the Dennis thing is really going to happen yet. I know there's a lot of talk, and I trust that they're trying to move forward to do it. And I suspect it probably will happen, but I thought, I can't just completely count on that. So why not pull Arackley? So if Angarbayev backed out, I'll step in and be the substitute. Well, not less than 12 hours later. Next morning, I come into work and I see that Krigali is arm wrestling Michael Todd. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the Ingen? What? And so the story goes that Krigali basically backed out of his match with Reckley and wanted to challenge Devin, and Devin just flat out refused or didn't want to do it at that time, and so now he was open to another match. I'm like, Ingen, you should have told me that. We could have waited a day for that, right? I mean, you could have, yeah. So anyway, but I was okay with that. I'm like, okay, well, I was a little upset for a second, and I thought, no, this is still the right thing. I mean, of course, unless I don't care if I get beat. I just don't want to get injured.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, I'm excited to pull Dennis, so I want to be 100%. But yeah, so that's why I'm pulling a Reckley here in January.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's. I always just shake my head because, we see some of the greats, like, Devin and Levan, and they're only pulling once, maybe twice a year. Why do you think they only pull once or twice a year compared to you pulling, 6 times in a week?
I don't think it hurts me to pull, super matches like that, high level matches. I mean, they must put a lot of energy and focus into their training. And I guess I just don't have that figured out, enough to think in my mind that it makes an important difference to do this regimented thing for so long and taper and do all these things that are very time consuming, to be at my, your peak. Maybe what they're doing is there's some truth behind it, but I don't really feel that damaged. I think I improve with, the super matches month to month to month. On occasion I get into a tough super match. Like I didn't think I worked really hard with Petrenko, but 2 weeks later I was still like tender, and like I spent 3 weeks now or 4 weeks, and I'm still like, I got a little stingers that might take some more time, and but you deal with it. The next super match, you deal with it a little bit. You maybe not 100%, but if you're 90%, you do well or squeak by. I think it makes you stronger for the next super match. So I mean, you can't. I don't know. In my mind, I feel like you can't calculate to get everything perfect. Things aren't always going to be perfect, and for me, just continuing to accept and move forward and arm wrestle at high level events and get sharp from being in the mix is about as good as anything for staying on, in shape and on top of my game. So,
mate, I can't believe that you sit there and can say that you didn't have much trouble with Oleg Petrenko. Like, you're not human. Like, that's ridiculous.
There was a lot of pressure there. I felt like I was in control, but and you don't realize these things until the third day, fourth day you come home, or the following week going, why is that? Oh, you go to open that door and you go, oh, that's a little stinger there. It's still what's going on? So yeah, but I think that's good stimulation for growth, right? I think there's nothing better than to be put in a situation where you have to fight to survive, and better than just the training sessions, right? Better than the workouts or the arm wrestling training sessions. I mean, I think you go harder with arm wrestling cable time than you do with weights. I do personally, but the next level above that is obviously real super matches.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of super matches, if you get the big win over Dennis, it all goes your way, and the GOAT does GOAT things, and you pin Dennis. Would you rather a rematch with Devin, or would you rather try and take on the big dogs, that is Levan, and see where you're at with him?
No, I wouldn't. I don't think I have any desire to go after any of the super heavyweights. Yeah, this Dennis thing is probably a one and done for me. I mean, I if there was open tournaments and they existed and they were in my way, I would not veer away from getting up there and pulling against them. But yeah, I don't. I've always wanted to be the little guy, the giant killer. I don't want to. I don't want to be known as a super heavyweight or chase that being a monster. So
yeah, get the Bowser at the end of the
after the Dennis match. I'll back away and stay in the 230, 235, whatever, 105, I possibly pull the 115 kilo class, but no desire to pull the big monsters. You're just getting too big when they're Corey West 400 or 500 pounds, 600. It's just. Yeah.
Well, that was the next thing. Did it all change? Like, you had your good momentum, and then you pull at the Monster Factory, you pull Corey West, and then pulling a 435-pound monster. Did that just change everything? And you're just like, super heavyweights, that'll do.
No, it's a good experience, and like I said, I still enjoy it, but I just don't. I wouldn't have the mindset to.
Yeah,
like Devin did, like, oh, I'm gonna get huge and I'm going after that title. I'm gonna stay in my little box and my little my little safety zone that I like to stay in. I mean, I'm not gonna go out of the safety zone.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I think some people have just got to understand, like, you've been doing this for so long. Like, more than most people, in all due respect, more than most people have been alive, and especially the newer fans. So it's like you've been there, you've done that, you've gripped up with your Cleve Deans, your Jerrys, you're really jacked up, Richard Lapkeys and things like that. And so it's like, hey guy, there's a reason why I have chronic pain for So, but that was something else, that Corey West match. Something else. Yeah. Just watching it, and I hadn't seen you redline like that in maybe years. Like, I've seen you hold center, slight defense, and you're shaking a bit, but proper, like your neck was going to explode and not let him pin you.
It probably had a lot to do with the fact that I was possibly had COVID. They said I gave everybody their COVID. Oh. I tested negative. So I was a mess. So yeah, that probably didn't help with the situation. But yes, for sure, he made me do things that were a little uncomfortable for me. He had me twisted up pretty good, where I was like, but yeah, once I was able to somewhat feel like, okay, I'm in this, and of course, then you even give the gas a little bit. The engine's already redlining, but it's still not quite.
The ticker was off.
You have to go a little bit past the red line.
The red line was about 3.5 kilometers away. That was something else. Did you feel rude at all beating Michael Todd's son at his own factory?
I was just really actually surprised and happy that it turned out the way it did. To me, sometimes it's more important to have close, exciting matches like that than winning one way or losing one way or another, easily or quickly. So I was just happy that we were that close.
Yeah, well, at the moment, I've been doing a countdown of my top 10 matches of the year, and I've got my top 5 to go. And John versus Corey is in one of my top 5 matches of the year for sure. It's madness not to have it in there. That's for sure. Did that and I only ask because you've been doing this for so long. But did that have any effect on the Yongabiev match?
It's hard to say. I mean, mean, I would like to think maybe it did. Okay, please let it happen some point. But I'll let you know after the next time I pull on Garbaya. If he beats me even faster, then I think, well, no, I was prepped really well before.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the thing with arm wrestling. I mean, it's so different than weights. Weights, I mean, you're your best or you're not your best. So we got something that's gaugeable. It's a specific weight. Arm wrestling, there's so many variables. It could be the other guy. It could be you. It could be the traveling. It could have been you get some, your sleep, or you didn't eat right, or you had a bug, or I mean, there's a bazillion, I'm not, people will call them say they're excuses, but they're just reasons. I mean, that we're
tangibles,
not running at 100%. So
yeah.
So the Corey match, after feeling what I'm feeling after Petrenko, Corey I probably wasn't healed enough to know how damaged I was after the Corey match. So but I think I'm a better, stronger, guy 2 months later, 3 months later now because of that match. So it's all good. In the long run, it's all good, right? It's good.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's something that we're going to, especially the Corey match. I mean, both of those matches in retrospect, we're going to talk about for ages, because it was your first time you're beaten in 6 or 7 months, the Ongabayev match. But the fascinating thing is about our sport is a 230 pounder can literally beat someone twice his weight. Corey was almost twice your weight, and then a few weeks later get pinned 3 times by someone your own weight.
Right.
Like that's I think the uniqueness that we really need to build on moving this sport forward.
No, I was super satisfied with, I loved actually the way that whole thing, played out.
Yeah.
I ended up being very happy and satisfied with my performance with Ungarbayev. I feel like I left there, so much better mindset and confidence. Even getting beat, I was like, okay, no, I'm right there. I'm as strong, if not stronger. I just need to be, smart and alert and everything's got to be right.
Not pull 400-pound giants 3 weeks before.
Guys like that, I honestly don't even think really strength had a big part of it. It was more about alertness and being healed, and just the situation not getting messed up, and the people talking or the refs doing this or that, and just really, trying to do everything right and trying to deal with all the little things that can mess that start up. I mean, it's so important to be, on this side of that start. I mean, and not hearing things correctly, or not, or just feeling like you didn't take that breath correctly before they said go, or didn't anticipate it. And these are things that in the past, I think I was a little bit more in tune with. As you get older, you're just like more reactive than proactive. I mean, you just kind of react to things happening to you before you don't anticipate it as well. So, but no, those are the things that I need to sharpen, get back to the, the importance of that.
Yeah.
So much the strength, because I think my strength's there. Once that, if I can get that little twitch to be somewhat in my favor, I'm good to go. Have been in the past anyway.
It's unbelievable. We'll get to some comments here. Tricky Rick, thank you very much for your super chat. He says, John, there is a couple of matches I'm interested in your opinion. East versus West 6. Paul Lynn, Rustam Babayev, Craig Tullier, David Smushia, and Coach Ray and Doug Elric.
Okay, so Paul Rustam. I mean, I put Rustam Babayev like top shelf, like against super heavyweights. He's beaten the likes of Todd Hutchins in a hook. There isn't probably too many people stronger than him, at any weight in a hook. Paul Lynn, I put him really high up too. He had kind of a surprising loss to Pablo just a week ago, and it really kind of shocked me, because if I was to bet, I thought Paul was going to be explosive enough to put Pablo out of position, but Pablo just really seemingly kind of took his hand away from him. So he had a strong enough arm and just kind of manipulated his hand, which really shocked me. So
shocked the world.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Paul Lynn, if he's maybe just a little tweaked or how his mind is gonna fix that loss. His confidence is maybe a little bit off, but Russum is probably the favorite in that one, right? I mean, Paul, I don't think has had anybody really that compact pull straight down on his bicep like Rustin will probably end up doing. So it's going to be a tough one for Paul, but I don't think Paul's completely out of it. I mean, I think if Paul gets a good setup and top rolls hard and can pronate and keep Rustin from driving down on his wrist, he's got a chance.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
Another, I mean, I don't know, is he going to be recuperated after his match with Brandon Del Sosa? I mean, holy crap! I mean, that will leave a scar for months. So he might not be healed to pull his super match. I don't know who his match that he's. I don't know the guy personally. Of course, I don't arm wrestle a lot of the little guys, the lightweight guys. So I really don't know. I can only kind of have an opinion based on what I see, not what I feel. So, and Coach Ray's pulling who?
Doug Ehrlich. Ehrlich. Okay. I keep getting his name. Sorry, Dougie. Mate, because I'm going to have Doug on the show.
I think I pulled Ray before. He's been at the house. I'm sure we've pulled. It's probably when I was in my, partying state that I just don't remember it. I was way too many beers in and not really taking arm wrestling a whole, not very seriously at the time. So, but yeah, there's another one that I don't have any first-hand opinion. Yeah.
Nah, that's all right. Todd and Oleg's love child in the house. He says, thank you very much for your super chat. You dead set legend. Says, John, Travis says he's going to arm wrestle Corey in May and beat him on the left. Do you believe him? No. I'll answer that one for you, John. No.
Travis doesn't believe that either.
But you, Devin and Travis have got a thing brewing for next year?
Right. Hopefully a little, of course, Travis is kind of the main guy in charge. I mean, Devin and I are just little ornaments. But yeah, he's trying to start up. He's got a little bit of funding, and he's going to try to start up a league. And I know Ingen's been wanting to do some qualifiers in the United States, and has reached out to me and saying, "Hey, is it possible? Can you coordinate something?" And so there are a lot of things in the works of getting some, not amateur tournaments, but open double elimination tournaments where guys can kind of test their skills and kind of build some credibility and get in the chance to pull in the East versus West or some of the bigger super matches.
There you go. It's White Wolf is in the chat. He's been awesome all day. He says, John, can you negotiate a best 3 out of 5 or 2 out of 3 when you're setting up matches and negotiating a contract? P.S. Marcus said earlier that he would fly you to Ireland.
Okay. Well, the Ireland thing is a week before East versus West.
It is.
I
think,
I'm already taking Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off because it ends up taking me a day to get to Istanbul. So I leave on a Wednesday. So I have Saturday, the earlier Saturday, Sunday off. So I maybe would just have to take 2 more days off, maybe even the Thursday, Friday. I mean,
wow,
it's halfway there, right? I mean, it's a possibility. Yeah, text me, give me some more details of what's really going on, and I mean,
is it okay if I pass Marcus your phone number? Is okay?
602-620-3376. I'm not afraid. My phone number is listed. My address is listed.
That's all right.
Me.
There you go, Marcus. I'll give you. I'll give you that much.
Call me or text me too much, then I will block you. Then my phone will stop ringing or doing dinging.
It's Absolutely. That's why, well, like when I first got you on the show, it's like, oh, you're getting that arm wrestling fanboy thing. You're like, oh my God, I got John Brzenk's number. And then it's like, that can't text him. No, I'll just wait a little bit. Hey, what it comes? Hey, good luck on this match. Yep, I'll just leave it. But yeah, all right, I'll pass that on. That'll be brilliant. Nick the Toy Collector says we need an over the top 2 in Vegas again.
Another
absolutely.
Yeah, big budget.
Did you?
Yeah, why not?
Did you catch any of the footage? We ran over the top here in April, and Larry Wheels came and pulled in the first tournament. I'll have to see. I just want to send you a photo of the setup. We recreated it as best as we could over the top.
Oh, okay. Was it during the Arnold or some expo, or was it just on its own? I do remember seeing a little bit of footage on its own. Okay. I do remember seeing a little bit of footage, but no, I didn't see the entirety of it.
There you go. Yeah, but yeah, just the setup looked amazing. Just your regular double elimination tournament. We gave away 10 grand to the open winner, which was Lachlan Adair. Oh. And it was just awesome. Performance Enhancing Pancakes is ready. Bang. This interview with the GOAT is seriously so cool, Jake. Happy for you, brother. Thank you very much, Performance. He's a really good dude. His channel is skyrocketing, which I'm very, very happy for. My man, Dungeon Master, Timmy Boy, says, evening all. Ready, bang, with the GOAT. Yeah. I'm just reading some of the comments like, Captain Obvious, because you gave out your phone number. He says, get ready for some heavy breathing voice.
Right. If it gets too bad, I'll end up changing my number. Then, it hasn't been a problem so far.
I think everyone's pretty respectful with that. A few things. You are a very laid-back person, very giving of your time, which we're all appreciative of, even when things get too much during your lives and matches. But we saw in 2022 a fired-up John Brzenk versus Zurab. You weren't happy at one stage, and there was a bit of finger-pointing on the table and more fired-up negotiations, with the refs, and you're talking to Engen, and I was just like, whoa,
right,
this is cool.
Yeah. No, it wasn't directed at Zurab, or it was more just, I guess, my stupidity not understanding the rules. I just never was in a situation where somebody would call a loss on me for trying to stay in the match by pinning my opponent to the center of the table when they're trying to bail with a dead wrist. I mean, anytime in the past in my whole career of arm wrestling, if anybody dead wrists me like that, after I've completely taken it from them and they were just trying to, bail, and I push to the center of the table, it's typically, either an elbow foul, restart, or a win for me, not for them, because it was a hair on their side of the table. So it kind of threw me, and I got too upset, but
it was
shouldn't have got that upset about it. But I was just like, that's craziness. What were you even coming up with that? But I know they've got some really crazy rules with. I guess they brought up the fact that that's something in the WAF. So I don't know the situation why they would write such a thing, but wow.
It's all the different rules.
That'd be new stuff for me, just to really go woo, just as dead as straight down to the center of the table and hope the guy somewhat,
I thought Zurab was on a game show answering a question. That's how straight down he went, just to hit the buzzer.
Right.
That was interesting. So at the moment, we have the Monster Factory, we have Arm Wars, we've got East versus West, we've got King of the Table. Arm Gods is coming on board. Magda's coming on with We the North, which we're going to talk about your match with Todd in just a moment. Other people are running pay-per-views, and things like Michigan State's had a pay-per-view. Washington States was on, and Arm Sports Entertainment had a pay-per-view earlier in the year. Do you think the growth with all of these individual promotions building is great for the business, or would you love everything? If just say everything was under the core sports banner and we're all under the one arm wrestling thing? Or do you love all these promotions doing your pay-per-views?
Everybody has the opportunity to give it their best shot. I mean, and then the cream will, rise to the top. I mean, the good productions, the high entertainment quality productions will continue to thrive and do well. The ones that do a piss poor job will fall. But it's all good for arm wrestling, right? I mean, everybody deserves a shot to try. So
absolutely.
I applaud the fact that people are willing to give it a shot and put their best foot forward and see where it goes. I mean, maybe there are better production guys than what Ingen's doing. So let's go for it, prove it.
Yeah, awesome, absolutely. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Because sometimes when I've had some chats either on the show or public, people it's getting just a bit too much. But I absolutely love it. I'm obviously not, because you're pulling at them all. I'm the same with YouTube. I'm like, I hope there's 100,000 arm wrestling channels. Like it just means I've got to work harder to make my show better.
Right.
Why should John pick my show to come on than this person or this person or this person? So yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I think the more the better. Plus, you've got Monster Factory in America and now We the North in Canada. You only have to take short trips a couple of times a year.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm glad Michael's stepped forward to do the promoting, and he's got big plans for the stage and that. So I expect not too shortly down the road, he's going to be someone to definitely contend with as far as quality production.
Yeah, and that's key. And Magna's got on the phone, said, John, meet Todd. Todd, meet John. It's been forever and a day. There's always that classic footage of you two on ESPN, and Todd's whipping out that awesome mustache, that amazing mustache where you two guys have met.
Todd may well be as far as East versus West title holder goes, I mean, Todd Hutchins may well be or should possibly be the overall, the champion, current champion. I mean, he beat Irakle. I mean, there's a good chance that he could do the same to Gurbayev. So, I mean, Mr. Todd Hutchins is by no means, not out of the talk of being the top guy. He possibly should be. His match with, Prudnik was just a little bit, out of his weight class. So if he stays at 105, I mean, I truly believe he possibly is the best.
And I've been wanting this match ever since Todd's rise, you coming back. I'm so glad this is happening. I do have to wait till August. I'm a bit impatient. But we can all go there. It's just going to be an amazing match. Two of the best not only just in America but in the world. Going to go head to head. It's just got excitement all over it. I'm actually trying my hardest to get to Canada to get to that matchup. Unfortunately, it's not in Magna's budget to get there, for me to get there, because we're having a chat about it privately, because it's just ridiculous flying anywhere from Australia. It's 24 hours and a lot of money.
Right.
But Marcus wants to know, are you going to Norway in March? Are you going back to the Hardanger Open? Please say yes.
I would love to go back to Norway in March. I don't think I have anything currently going on other than a possible match with Denis Saplikov in the first week of March. But after that, the next 3 weeks, I think are open for me. And I thoroughly enjoyed my trip last year to Norway. So yeah, I would jump at the chance to go back to Norway in March if it was invited.
Erling, get on the blower, because I'll be there, John. I'll be there next year. Erling's bringing me over, which is awesome. So hopefully you can.
Yeah, that was a fantastic event. The venue was awesome. I mean,
yeah, it looks picturesque, picture perfect. It looks ridiculous over there in Norway. Something in the movies. Victor, John's going to be at the King of the Table in February, March, to answer your question. He's going to be there. He's pulling Dennis Saplenkov there. So
Right.
he's definitely going to be there. Guys, we'll probably go for about another 10 minutes because John's time's very, very limited. I've probably pinched a bit more than his time. So if you've got any awesome questions, because we just can't go through everything that John's done this year, but please, if you've got any out of the box questions, because John, you just go watch John's Monday Night Live and he answers your trainings and your stem cells and things like that. But if you can definitely get there, get some good questions in, then we can roll from there. But in the meantime, John, you can play a game. I'm going to pin one, lose one, get rid of one. You've played this game before. It's arm wrestling's favorite game. I'll give you the name of 3 opponents. You got to tell me who you're going to pin, who you're going to lose to, which is very rare on your end, and which one you are banning for 12 months. No arm wrestling at all for 12 months. And it's your next 3 opponents: Irakli, Todd, and Dennis. That's my favorite part of the game. Just that first few seconds when the names sink in.
Well, you're making me ban one of those three arm wrestlers?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to pin Irakli. I guess I'm going to. I mean, between Todd and Saplenkov, I would probably more likely lose to Saplenkov, and that means I got to ban Todd Hutchins. I don't know if I really understand this game completely.
That's the difficulty of it. It's fun because usually when I play, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to pin them, and I'm definitely going to lose to them." But hang on, no, I've got to get rid of them. Just all a bit of fun. But you hate Toddzilla. We've got it on record now. That's fine. Yeah. You're banning him.
10 years, 5 years. How long are we banning him for?
Just 12 months. Just 12 months. But no, that is a bit of fun. All right, couple of questions, guys. Emmanuel Enriquez says, please, can you ask John if it's not easier to go inside with Levan and grab a bit lower on the hand like he did to Cleve Dean?
It may not be. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to experience the strength that Levan has inside outside just to really decide what form of attack I would try. I definitely don't possess the high knuckles top roll that Travis has or Hermes has. So I think that's not really a great option for me if I was to really, think what would be personally my best chances against Levan. It may possibly be, grab a little low on the wrist and try to get it wrist to wrist. But it might be just, suicide also. But I mean, it might be my only option.
Yeah, I couldn't even pin him with 2 arms. That's for sure. Benji Max says, what did you do with the old trusty white microwave?
Oh, it got taken away by the people that brought me my new appliances. So it's in the microwave graveyard somewhere.
That's one of the amazing things about the internet. They can just find one thing. You got a microwave famous.
Right. I tried to give it away. At first, I listed it on like the Facebook Marketplace for $50. No takers. And then the combination oven, microwave, still no takers. And finally, I just kicked it to the curb and thought, oh, maybe someone could grab it off the curb. And finally, the people just took it away that brought the new stuff. So
it's in the Arm Wrestling Museum. Someone is sitting there holding it, going, "This is John Brzenk's microwave." My boy Tim, the Dungeon Master, says, "What would John like to see happen in the international arm wrestling community the next 5 years?"
Well, I mean, nothing special. I mean, I think because of the internet and all the, the promoters and I mean, basically the internet, YouTube, that we're all together, one big community. Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to have the sport grow to the point where we didn't have to rely on, the fans to support events. But,
yeah.
I mean, time will tell if we get, 15, 20, 30,000 isn't quite enough yet for Pepsi or Coke to be knocking on the door saying, here's we like what you're doing. Here's a few million to really set it off. But yeah, no, I think we're going in the right direction, and the promoters are doing the best they can with the limited budget they have, and of course, most importantly, is the support of the the fans, your fans, the YouTube fans. It's really made the difference so far for the sport. Without it, we'd still be scratching and crawling to try to afford to get the local guys from the state.
Yeah. So. Yeah, you got door knocking, selling cookies. Hi, I'm John. I'm supposed to be pulling Dennis in Dubai. Would you like to buy some cookies and send me to Dubai? Yeah, definitely. We would love it if the arm wrestling community just grew. I would love it if, like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to King of the Table, sponsored by Coca-Cola, and that would just be mega. That Black TTS, thank you very much for your super chat. He says, who would John like to see alongside him in the Hall of Fame, along with you, Gary and Cobra, which I think was just pure class. That was my probably most favorite thing at the last East versus West.
Those are all great names. Cleve, Johnny Walker, Iceman, Dave Patton. I'm assuming you're saying Dave Patton, and Richard Lupke's. Those are top shelf guys. Next 4 inductees for sure.
If I were to guess, I think you would pick Johnny Walker. If I were to guess,
both Johnny Walker and Dave Patton. I mean, so instrumental for me. Beginning when I first started in the sport. So.
Okay, brilliant. All right, a couple more, and then we'll wrap up, guys. John, if you had to choose one, what one would you choose? A hard-fought victory over Levant, or a crushing and humiliating victory over Devon? That's a great question.
What would I enjoy more? Oh yeah, the humiliating victory over Devon.
Good. I'm glad that was your answer. I'm glad that's made me very, very happy, and it's made a lot of people happy in the chat, which is good. Guys, clearly, if you subscribe to the Aussie Arm Wrestler, you are clearly subscribed to the greatest arm wrestler of all time. John's just on every single pay-per-view, so it's just more reassuring to buy the pay-per-view. Let's try and get stuck into anyone that is pirating the content out, because without everyone buying the pay-per-view and things like that, John wouldn't be so willing of his time, which we're very, very grateful for. And we got to see a nice relaxed John. You're not focusing solely on the chat on your Monday Night Lives, because 6,000 people tune in and want to ask you all the questions. So mate, really, very, very grateful. People are just saying thank you so much.
This was really nice. Thanks for the invite. This is very clean. I like the way this comes across. It's a few little glitches here and there. I lost you for a second or two, but this is kind of cool the way you've got this set up. So this is a separate program than, well, obviously we typically use Zoom for YouTube. So what is this program?
This one's called StreamYard.
StreamYard. Is it something from Australia or?
No, it's on the internet. Just StreamYard.com. I'm happy over the the next few weeks to show you, give you a tutorial how to use it so you can put it on your show.
Okay.
Because it's very handy. So what I'm looking at now is all my comments are to my right here. Super chats are really big and highlighted, like Alexander Clark. And I just click it. It says, John, I admire your passion for the sport of arm wrestling. What keeps that fire burning? Anything specific?
No, I mean, I grew up in the sport. I've got all my friends, all my history is because of the sport of arm wrestling, and I'm still competitive. I'm still halfway decent at it. So, I mean, I think you always kind of gravitate towards things that you can do well, and you've So yeah, no, it's yeah, maybe not as motivated as I used to be, but still enjoy the sport.
Hey, but I think the one thing I'm thoroughly enjoying is you are getting your due diligence. So like the big money matches. Okay, I'm not going to talk specifics about them, but it's like, hey, come here and we'll pay you this much and we'll pay for your flight and we'll pay for your wife and you're getting that. And then things like YouTube, like when I watch your Monday Night Lives and I'm watching everyone, $5, $10, $100, whatever, and they just flood in. I'm like, yes, this bloke used to fly his own way and pay his own money to go pin people. So I'm glad you could just sit there and everyone makes fun of your microwave and suddenly, you've done a live and you've got $500, $1,000.
I'm right behind you, Jake. I'm going to be quitting my job here probably in another year or two. I say 62, which is 3 years away, but maybe I'll do it sooner if I really feel like I could get a pinch hold on this YouTube thing and maybe do the tour. And yeah, I mean, it's getting that way where I'm actually starting to think about it like, yeah, that would be kind of fun just to have unlimited time off and be able to fly to Ireland and do kind of the things that Devin's been doing and just, meet and greet and just arm wrestle the whole world. So.
Because everyone will do it. Everyone will have a big training session. It just all depends on your matches because everyone will want to grip up with you. But it just all depends on that. Like I know, like every time I jump on Facebook, Devin's booked for another meet and greet training session, seminar, and things like that. Yeah, everyone charge.
Yeah. Definitely not as durable as Devin, but I definitely would enjoy something like that. They're doing something like that in the later years. I'm probably gonna have to lean towards more promoting than actual arm wrestling.
The John Brzenk Cup full time. Look at this. It is all happening. And just the last super chat from our man, Derek Smith. Hey, how good is Derek Smith? Everyone loves that guy. Which, Derek, will be live in 40 minutes, I believe. Derek, am I correct? If so, we're all going to head over to Derek's channel after this. And he says, the greatest to do it, all hail.
Thanks, Derek.
We can't disagree with that. He's getting Brian Shaw into the mix.
I see that. That'll be interesting to see if he can cultivate that monster of a man to have the proper mechanics to do the sport of arm wrestling. Very interested to see the outcome of that if he's dedicated and sticks with it.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Derek's got helped us get his foot in the door. But let's sign off the show, John, with you giving us a score prediction for King of the Table against Dennis.
I have a bad feeling it's going to be 6-0 one way or the other.
Okay.
Most chances are the first round. And if I can take control of the first round and put him out of position like I did in Las Vegas, the rest will be smooth sailing.
There we go. Wow, man. If you win 6-0.
If he rocks me hard off the go and my little chicken wing goes,
no injuries.
I'll be looking for a corner to hide.
No injuries. No injuries. We don't want that. No injuries.
No, but I'm just saying that, I mean, there's a possibility that he's just so jolting that, that I'm going to need to have mental focus to withstand that. So we'll see how it goes.
It'll be amazing. All right, guys. Thank you very much, everyone out there. This has been John Brzenk. I am the Aussie Arm Wrestler, and we will see you very soon. Go to Derek Smith's channel. He starts in 5 minutes. Go to Derek Smith's channel now and tell him the Aussie Arm Wrestler sent you, and I'll see all of you guys